Minister of Tourism Lindsey Grant said upgrades at the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport was more than originally estimated, but assured that upgrades will be completed in time for the reopening of the country's borders on 31st October. The minister was speaking in reference to Phase 1 work in the arrivals section of the airport, aimed at reducing the risk of COVID-19 entry when international flights resume on 7th November. The multi-million-dollar upgrades included 1. The construction of an apron-based welcome center capable of facilitating 140 passengers. 2. The construction of medical and isolation centers at the back of the welcome center. 3. The reconfiguration of the immigration hall, one half being for the queuing of 40 passengers awaiting medical screening, while the other half is for passengers emerging from the medical screening into normal immigration operations. 4. The establishment of a medical screening room in the former VIP arrivals lounge. And 5. The erection of plexiglass sneeze guards throughout the arrivals section of the building, aimed at keeping customs, immigration, and other workers safe. According to Minister Grant, significant changes to the original project resulted in an increased cost, with additional funds being required to complete Phase 2.
Phase 1 was projected to cost approximately $2 million EC. However, major changes were made during the construction to augment safety, especially within the medical isolation center and the medical screening area. Additionally, the scope was extended to include a 6th element, which is a complete transformation of the customs baggage hall area. This was necessary to reorganize the processing of passengers, to reduce the bottlenecks and while keeping the custom officers safe. These changes have increased the project cost from some $2 million to $2.6 million EC. The Financial Secretary, in her communication to SCASPA, committed $2.7 million for both Phases 1 and Phase 2. Fellow Cabinet colleagues, it is evident that given the much needed increase in the scope during Phase 1, the commitment of $2.7 million would only be sufficient for Phase 1. SCASPA would therefore be making another submission on Phase 2, that is the departure area, which of course would be less involved than Phase 1, which is the arrival area.
It is expected that work will begin shortly on the departure section of the terminal. Meanwhile, new rules at the airport's operations mean that only persons with legitimate business to do at the airport will be allowed to enter the facilities. Glenn Barth, SKN Newsline.